idiot!
The internet was not happy with this one. PepsiCo's head honcho has just stirred the proverbial pot after suggesting women needed a less fun version of Doritos, all the better to quietly snack in public with. CEO Indra Nooyi said during a Freakonomics podcast episode that unlike men, women don't like to crunch when they eat their chips. You'd be hard-pressed to find women willing to stuff their faces with Doritos, dump the crumbs into their mouths, or even lick their fingers, she claimed. But fret not, ladies, the snack you've been yearning for is finally here. Introducing Lady Doritos. They're like normal Dorito chips except soggy and stale for more ladylike munching. It even comes in a tiny bag to fit right in your purse. With chips to keep women silent, a female Colonel Sanders, and big pens designed for a lady's grip, who the heck needs equal rights? Said no woman ever. Needless to say, people were pissed. The Lady Dorito backlash on Twitter alone was massive and pretty hilarious. And with Indra Nooyi probably #1 on every feminist hit list, PepsiCo has now backpedaled to say Doritos for her was never a thing. Let's hope it stays that way. Everything else fades, but dumb is forever.
Parenting fail. An ordinary day at a museum in the UK went horribly wrong when a family's failed photo op damaged an 800-year-old coffin. According to the BBC, on August 4th, a family was visiting Pretty-Well Priory Museum in Southend-on-Sea. Hoping to snap a morbid photo, the parents reportedly reached over an exhibit barrier to put their child inside an 800-year-old ancient sandstone coffin. You know this isn't gonna end well. Here's some quick facts about the stone coffin. It was found on the grounds of the monk's residence in 1921 and has been displayed at the Pretty-Well Priory Museum ever since. It used to contain a skeleton that the museum says could have belonged to a senior monk, so arguably it's a valuable artifact. Well, in the process of picture taking, the offending family managed to knock a chunk off of the sarcophagus. Fantastic. They didn't say a word and fled the scene, but were caught on the museum's surveillance cameras. In response to the photo op incident, Pretty-Well Priory Museum's conservator Claire Reed said the staff was shocked and upset, but added that the damage was repairable. The museum said they didn't expect people to actually get into the artifacts, and they plan to completely enclose the stone coffin in the future. She might want to improve her selfie game. This woman will probably think twice before she snaps selfies in the future, since when she did so last Thursday in a Los Angeles art gallery, the result was $200,000 in damages. The woman was viewing an installation called Hypercane, which was a collaboration between Hong Kong artist Simon Birch and other artists including Gabriel Chan, Jacob Blitzer, and Gloria Yu. Prior to the incident, CCTV footage showed visitors carefully admiring and walking around a room decorated with dozens of rectangular pedestals holding sculpted crowns and other headpieces. Then came the clumsy visitor and her friend. Her friend used an actual camera to photograph the wondrous works. Meanwhile, the clumsy one decided to squat down and snap her selfie, which led to her falling backward into one of the displays, turning the entire exhibition into a game of dominoes. Yikes! After wrecking much of the exhibition, the bumbling visitor actually remained calm and even put one headpiece back onto its pedestal. According to the exhibition's marketing team, 3 of the sculptures were permanently damaged and others to varying degrees. Factoring in the artist's work time, potential art sales lost, and the repair costs, the estimated damage came out to a total bill of $200,000. Some had speculated the incident was a stunt, but the exhibition confirmed to Fox News that the accident was real and explained it would be irrational for the artists to damage their own work in the hopes of gaining more fame. The art show is already back on display, with one change. Visitors can no longer walk between the rows of art pieces, though photography is still encouraged.
Just call a professional. This is what happens when you mix alcohol, fire, bed bugs, and a multifamily unit. An unidentified woman reportedly thought it was wise to try and exterminate bed bugs with alcohol near an open flame last Friday night in Cincinnati. The blaze put 3 people in hospital and displaced 10 residents from the building. Total damage for the fire was reported to be almost $250,000. Building resident Cameron Leitch live-streamed the blaze on Facebook. He said he and his two brothers lost everything. Reportedly, this is the second time in 2 weeks that a Cincinnati resident has gone up in flames while someone was trying to kill bedbugs. Local fire chief Randy Friel gave profound advice for dealing with bedbugs, and that's get a professional.
When it comes to floating down a river, you really shouldn't wing it. A nice trip downriver turned nightmarish for 3 women who found themselves stranded after listening to some faulty advice. The trio decided to go tubing down Michigan's Muskegon River Tuesday afternoon and showed up at the launch site completely unprepared. Someone reportedly told them that the river runs in a circle and would eventually bring them back to wherever they started. The women happily set off around 4 p.m., not realizing until about 6 hours later that the river wasn't actually circular. They ended up spending the night on a riverbank, yelling for help, and getting munched on by insects. It wasn't until noon the next day the 2 fishermen spotted them and called rescuers. The women were fine, except for some scratches and bug bites. But guess who's never going tubing again?
The raw water craze is going to come out badly. We all know vaccines are killing us, and so is our tap water. Thank God rich people that don't believe in science are now rushing to buy as much raw water as they can. What is raw water, you ask? It's unfiltered, untreated, unsterilized water collected from natural springs. Raw water fans are worried about contaminants such as chemicals and lead in municipal water and additives such as fluoride. It's also ridiculously expensive. In SF, it can cost $61 for a 2.5-gallon jug of raw water that could also give you raw cholera. Yay! Besides cholera, the clearest stream water can still be filled with animal doo-doo, hepatitis A, and E. coli. But hey, if raw Hershey squirts and mud butt are your thing, bottoms up.